Sometimes I do spur-of-the-moment stuff, which may not make much sense at first. Sometimes not even to myself. Like today's example. I bought a dishwasher out of the blue. Didn't need to, just did. So a quick backstory, I hit this online auction every once in a while and they had this dishwasher and I somehow got enthusiastic about it. Maybe because it was shiny.
Pain in the ass.
No, it's shiny.
I told myself not to spend a lot, and I didn't, relatively speaking, but more on that later. The current dishwasher is around 10 years old, and since it came with the house, it was probably one of the cheapest models on the market when the builder was doing their thing. So odds are good it was going to go soon. So in today's exciting episode, we'll go back in time to walk you through the installation process of this dishwasher. Then we'll jump back to now and give you some thoughts about current dishwasher technology. Welcome back to Master of None. If you have a dishwasher from Bosch, Thermador, or Gaggenau, this is exactly what you're going to see. And if you don't, it's pretty much the same. The parts will look a little different and will be in different places, but if you think about it, a dishwasher has water in, water out, and power. That's it. There's a couple of tips that I'll pass along, and I'm going to do my best not to screw up this installation. So, first things first, power, specifically turning off. You may know that electricity and water don't mix, so usually there's a circuit breaker just for the dishwasher. Go ahead and flip that off to be safe. Now we can turn our attention to the old dishwasher and yanking it out. There's these tabs that will usually be secured with just small screws to keep it from wobbling around, so give them a yank and you should be able to set this thing free. And if we look behind the dishwasher, we see our power cord, the water in, and the water out. And some dust bunnies we'll have to take care of later. Here's the water in connection on the bottom side of the dishwasher. Now this is a pretty standard connection, so odds are pretty good we're going to be able to reuse this with the new one. If we find the other end of this hose, we'll see it has its own connection to the water pipes, and we just need to flip this from the open to the closed position. Here is the other end of the ejection tube, which is connected to our garbage disposal. And all we have to do is loosen that worm clamp and that'll just wiggle right off. So make sure you have a towel to catch any water that's going to drip, and just use a regular flathead screwdriver to give it a couple turns. Now back to the back end of the dishwasher. Before detaching that water hose, we want to make sure we've got a towel to soak up all the water that's going to be spilling forth, because there's more water than you think. And just my luck, this spring is in the way of a perfect shot, but I'm going to leave that spring in place because it keeps the door from flopping around. We're going to be very gentle when we loosen this up, so we're taking some lock jaws, but just gently loosening it, making sure we're not overworking it. This is a bronze connection to a plastic pipe, and we want to make sure we don't break anything as we go forward. Once it's fully disconnected, you can just lay it down on that towel to sop up any of the water that's in that pipe. Now, back behind the dishwasher again, it's time to pull out that ejection hose, and there's still going to be water in it, so get your towel ready. And with that, the removal has completed, so it's time to swap the old with the new. All right, along with the actual dishwasher, we received the kick plate, a little bag of screws, a hose clamp for under the sink. We will reuse the one that we've already got, so that goes in storage. We've got the power cord, which obviously it's got the 120 plug, so we don't have to hardwire it in. That's nice. We've got the attachments for the kick plate, And then we've got the little arms that mount on the side of the dishwasher so we can bolt it to the cabinet so it's rock solid. Okay, so the water hookup on the back of the new one is directly in the back. In fact, it's attached to this little plate that I popped out just to make it a little easier because my big fat fingers would have a hard time tightening this. It says to only use your fingers to tighten this pipe on. Obviously, this is plastic. We don't want to break it, so that's probably a good thing. We've got a washer in here, so I'm not going to wrap it with any nylon tape or anything. And it looks like this should be knocked out, but that's actually a filter, so we leave that in place. The only challenge I'm going to have at the moment is that this needs to be installed this way. And as you can tell, I didn't turn the pipe off completely. See? All right. Now we'll just snap this back into place. We have these two little clips, loops, on each side of the dishwasher, depending on which way everything's got to run. So we'll take the discharge hose, we'll put it there. We'll take the water hose. When we get a little closer, we'll slip that in there, as well as the power cord. And this will keep everything nice and tidy when we push it back to ensure nothing gets crushed when we're sliding it back. It's a nice idea. Make sure you pull the ejection hose under the sink as much as possible before pushing the dishwasher to its final resting place. So I had to tuck this in almost all the way just to manage that water cord. Water cord? It's a pipe. It's a flexible pipe. Space was really limited here, so I could only get one hand on all the cords to attach this little loop, but I made it work. And finally, we can push it back into its final resting place. And don't forget to pull the ejection hose all the way out. It's time to connect the ejection tube. Now, if you remember, we need to keep it elevated, at least a portion of it. And there's just enough, I think. What we're going to do, instead of using a zip tie or a fancy bracket or anything, we're just going to use compression. Because when we attach that, it's looped up nice and high. So, attach our clamp. You're probably just seeing the back of my hand, because that's a horrible camera angle, isn't it? Oh, stand by. Oh, that's better. So just make sure the clamp is on the hose before you attach it, and wiggle that thing in. And the pipe we'll just have stuck up there. That's perfect. Now, once this clamp is tight, just give it the old handyman wiggle and tell anyone in earshot that it ain't going anywhere. All right, so the feet have to be raised about a ½ inch on each side, and I'm just going to use my wrench to take the weight off. Act as a pry bar a little. I got these little slots. Let's see. Let's see if that's enough. Here I'm measuring the right side so I can make sure the left side is the same height. All right, with the feet adjusted somewhat, put a level on it, and we're close. But I think we can do just a little better.
You want to experience true level? Do you? Yes?
It only took a couple seconds to dial this thing in. Even though we've got the plastic cover on the stainless steel, we're going to be very careful when we put this on it to figure out level. And it needs to be adjusted by quite a bit. Now you may say, hey, if we did the front, how do we do the back? That's actually kind of cool. They've got this cute little screw in here, and it lifts or drops the back feet. After a couple of turns, I'd get the level out and see how I'm doing, but once it was all finished, it's time to lock this thing down. These are the tabs which keep the unit rock solid under the counter, and they're designed to be installed either on the top or on the sides. Since I have the grounded countertop, we'll go with the side installed just like the old one. For that, we have to bend these tabs real quick. Time to install the... So we just sort of hold this in place. I just bend this so it doesn't fall out. And now the other side. All right, so we have the side braces in place, and you may be saying, hey, how do I screw that in? Well, they've actually got a little notch here that you get from the inside to put the screw in. And we're going to do that right now. With the dishwasher pushed back into place, we just have to get this screw in, and it's easiest to get it started with your fingers and send it home with a power tool. All right, an unscientific measurement using my thumb along the edge. Feels flush with the countertop, just set back just a wee bit, and it still feels level left to right. So, we've got the ejection tube installed. We've got the power. We've got the water turned on. And there were no leaks. So I think the last thing to do is the kick plate and then give it a test run. So this is a fairly simple operation. Just grab these brackets, jam them into the base of the dishwasher, and then we'll bolt the kick plate onto these brackets. That'll look nice. Now we do the other side. And before we get the toe kick installed, we peel off the protective layer. All right, it's upside down. Now the real fun part, peeling all the plastic off. Ooh, it's one big sheet. Ooh, it's gonna take forever. For all you ASMR fans, enjoy. And last but certainly not least, a wipe down to make everything nice and shiny. And now it's time to jump back to the future and talk about the pros and cons of this unit. So here's one great feature of this app, telling me when the rinse aid is low. Whenever you're looking at a regular dishwasher and you're looking at that little hole to show you how much rinse aid is in there, you can't tell. You can never tell. This is a nice positive. And here's something not so great. This bottom drawer, when it comes out, if you push on it, it gets stuck. I don't know if you were able to catch it, but it gets stuck right in there. Now, the real challenge is that the sink is on the right-hand side of the dishwasher. So the tendency is to hold it down here and push it because you're standing in front of the sink, right? That's automatically pushing it into that gasket, which is going to get worn out sooner than later. So the solution obviously is you have to push the handle. And even in then, that's not working all the time. You actually have to grab the handle, twist it a little to the right, and push it in. So that's very frustrating, and I'm surprised it only happens on the left side. It does not happen on the right side. Okay, that's really the one thing about fit and finish that I've found so far, so let's jump back to today and wrap this thing up. Like I said, I'm replacing the dishwasher that came with the house, and I'm pretty confident it was the cheapest dishwasher the builders could find. Its capacity isn't great, and it's really noisy. Odds are good that anything would be better, so it wasn't too difficult to decide to replace it. Now you might think I'm being a little picky about the sound, but the living room and the kitchen are one large room, so if you want to watch a movie, you're going to be annoyed by the dishwasher running in the background. The current dishwasher is rated at having a sound level of 60 decibels, but I measured it, unscientifically of course, with my cell phone, but it hit a momentary 77 decibels. Now the new one is rated for only 42 decibels, so that's a huge difference. Seriously, if you're standing in front of it having a conversation, you don't hear it. Remember, the decibel scale is logarithmic, not linear. So a 10 dB increase represents a tenfold increase in sound intensity. So a few features I really appreciate. One, it uses 1 less gallon per load compared to the old unit. This one's quieter by 18 decibels, and that's a huge difference. It has a built-in water softener, incredibly helpful with the rock-infested water supply here in Texas. It has a handy third drawer to take care of the kitchen tools like knives and spatulas. It also has little grooves to hold silverware if you think that's helpful. It has interior lights, which I'll admit it's a nice feature, but wait, there's more. I can choose between 256 different colors. Now we're getting a little silly. It also projects the remaining time of a load onto the floor, just like the new car doors showing off their logo at night. That's kind of cool, at least I know if it's still running or not. But once it's done, it doesn't show you anything. That means you have to remember if you ran it or check with everyone else in the house to see if they ran it. And that's a bit of a bother. So at this point, here's where the features and benefits really start to become stupid and pointless. This thing connects to the internet via their Home Connect app. So let's take a minute to talk about this completely unnecessary feature. Do I need a dishwasher on the internet? No. Do I need the ability to start a load from anywhere on the planet? I do not. Do I need an app to tell me when the current cycle is going to finish? Do we need a dishwasher that can automatically order consumables from Amazon without interaction? Well, I think we all remember what happened to HP and their inkjet printer supply fiasco, so no thank you. Now granted, it's nice that it monitors the rinse aid and the water softener to let me know when it needs more consumables, but seriously, there's got to be a better solution. Off the top of my head, maybe a blinking light next to the control panel, like all the other lights on the control panel, next to words like add salt and add dish dryer. Ooh, now there's a good idea. I've been in IT for a couple of decades and I've seen a lot of technology come and go. Mostly go. And I really think we're at the point where major appliance companies are clutching at straws to make stuff up because they're at the pinnacle of product development and they don't know what to do next. So maybe they slap together a team that can write phone apps and they have a couple of weeks to put something together.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Now, I don't want to say it's incompetence, but the lack of forethought really shows. Their Home Connect app for Android has been around since 2014. That's 11 years from today. It's been downloaded about 100,000 times, and most of the ratings give it 1 star.
You done messed up, Aaron!
So instead of forcing me to create an account on the interwebs and connect my appliance to my network, how about you just let me connect directly to it and be done with it? If something's on the internet, then there's a chance that network is going to get hacked, and before you know it, my data is on the dark web. Again. And I don't like that at all. We need to reduce that level of information flowing around. Okay, so am I picking at it a bit too much? I don't think so, no. We live in a world of higher risk of data hacking, and there's no need for this information to be out there. Anyway, here's something that's very frustrating. Shortly after getting this all set up, they changed the app and the entire web service, including the authentication process. This prevented the dishwasher from telling me when a cycle was finished. Worse yet, they didn't send out any communication to explain that a big change was happening and what we as customers would have to do. Nope, just implement the change and let people figure it out on their own. Brilliant. Brand new setup, new application, new authentication process, no transfer of existing data, got to start from scratch, even have to re-register it for the warranty information.
Son of a...
Now, as an IT professional, I can tell you one of the biggest mistakes any company can make is not transferring data. Big mistake, huge, and stupid, quite preventable. This is a great example of why some companies should stick to what they know and not try and get their products on the interwebs because it seems like a cool idea. So, as a quick review, do I like Dishwasher? Yeah, for the most part. It's whisper quiet and the water softener is a huge plus in my book. The interior lights and the third tray is really nice. But its Achilles heel is the reliance on the internet. I think it's a major detractor from most appliances this day and age, which is a shame. Oh, and if you're curious about the retail price of this thing, yeah, I'm guessing somebody came up with that price as a joke and probably laughed until they wet their pants when they realized the marketing team actually went with it. Since I got it at an auction site, I didn't pay anywhere close to that. No way would I, especially knowing what I know now. So that's it. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you sticking around this long. If you think I missed the mark on the benefits and features of connecting something to the internet, drop me a line below. I'd appreciate that conversation. If you liked what you saw, take a look at my channel. I do more than major appliance installs, and something might catch your eye. Anyway, that's it for today. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks, everyone.